Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What a beautiful day. Here in Arizona, sun's up. It's getting warm out. Time to go do some work, but I wanted to do my sharing, preaching, whatever you want to call it for the day. The name the government gave me, David Keith Quigley, that's right. The name our corrupt government gave me. Why'd they give me that name? Maybe there was some good, maybe there was some bad, but eventually why they gave me the name David Keith Quigley is because they use identity theft to steal billions of dollars. They basically are like a hermit crab. They move into your life, they steal your life, and they steal everything you own. That's what was happening with my family and my loved ones and me. They didn't manage to kill me, though. Maybe they just thought I was dead. Maybe there was some double agents involved. It gets really, really complicated at the top, especially when you don't have all the push button technology like our government has, and the resources of information they have is endless. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. There's been a lot on my mind, especially a church, a healing center. MK Ultra is huge, people. If you don't know what MK Ultra is, research it. It is a weapon of war. Um, I was back and learned about it when it was called Project Artichoke. Basically, MK Ultra, it's a weapon of war to distract information from your enemies, to get your enemies to do things for you, and it has a weapon for our CIA and our FBI, our Secret Service, and organized crime. They can get a human individual and make them do anything, and I mean anything. I am a victim of what I've learned over and over. What MK Ultra is freaking huge. And one of the crazy tools of MK Ultra is you can get somebody to do something all the way up to unaliving someone, and they'll wake up in the morning and will never remember it. It is a weapon of war, a tool of war. How does that affect us? How about 9/11? How do you get somebody to fly an airplane into a building? Side people. It's called MK Ultra. It's huge. I cannot. Here's an example of some little things that I've learned about MK Ultra and how it works. You can get somebody to get in their car and drive into a brick wall. Think about it. And I mean anyone, any one of you, if you are put under MK Ultra and gone through the little rigmarole of the torture and the drugs and the psychic things they do to your mind, you will drive into a brick wall. Straight up. What's another great example of something I've witnessed? How about you get a skinny girl? Just these people are mean. They are mean and they are evil. What if you get a skinny girl and you tell her she can't stop eating? She's not going to stop eating. She's just going to keep eating and eating and eating. And pretty soon, that girl is the baddest woman you have ever seen in your life. And it ends up taking her life because she overate. That's the power of MK Ultra. Another thing is, you all remember the group, the Carpenters. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but the Quigleys used to have a lot of guests at their house, and the Carpenters were one of them. Very, very talented young lady. She died of anorexia. That's where you don't eat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, but that's where you starve to death. You basically eat and then throw up. You eat and you go into the bathroom and you throw up. Well, the people that run things want these people, these musicians, these movie stars to be perfect. So I believe, and I can't say for sure it was MK Ultra, but I believe it was. The Carpenters came over to the Quigleys. We had dinner, and she went into the bathroom and started throwing up. That was a long time ago, people. That was a very long, long time ago. That took her life. So MK Ultra can be programmed into your mind long ahead of time. And you all know hypnosis. You've seen it. I know you've seen hypnosis and how it works. You're going to quit smoking. You're going to quit smoking. Well, that's hypnosis. So for 2 weeks, you quit smoking. Then pretty soon you just break down and have another cigarette. Maybe some people don't. That's hypnosis. But MK Ultra is our CIA experimenting with many people with their technology they have and have had on basically extracting military information and getting people to use people for military operations. Well, these cabal members of organized crime, members within our very own government figured they can make a lot of money doing it, using that tool. They can do many things like taking our weapons away from us and so many other things. But anyway, MK Ultra is huge. So with that said, I'm manifesting for a healing center. Somebody mentioned the John F. Kennedy Junior Healing Center, and I'm sticking with that because it's a wonderful, wonderful name of the healing center for our new church. And it's not going to be like any other church in the world. It's not. It's going to be a healing center. We're not going to let the cabal hide in there at all. There's a lot of cabal members that hide in church. I know because I went to church. I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was kidnapped again. But we went to church all the time. Why? Because church is the best cover in the whole world. So that shit ain't going to fly in the John F. Kennedy Jr. Church. But what about MK Ultra? What comes out? Well, in my book, this book right here, The Martha Moxley Murder, people. The Martha Moxley Murder. I do believe that was my sister Caroline Kennedy. Our Secret Service is the best at what they do on covering things up, confusing people's minds, confusing their minds. So they go check into the mental hospital. Why? Because if you start getting out, they got all their angles covered. They'll send you to the mental hospital. And these people are paid off, straight up. So anyway, I wrote a book, Stolen Identity. My sister Caroline, they handed me a broken golf club. The metal end was sharp and jagged. They told me they were going to kill my mother, Jackie, if I did not go stab my dead sister with that end of that golf club. People, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me how they work? That's how they work. So I believe they switched Caroline with Martha Moxley. They just switched right then and there. Or did they do it just to confuse my mind? And maybe, I wouldn't remember. Maybe I would. But there was a switch. When I was on the island, Aristotle Onassis' private island, they use it just probably like Epstein's Island was used and many others from these rich and famous people. Anyway, this was after I was 13 years old. I was 13 years old. My stepbrother was murdered, and I held him in my arms in a plane crash. My stepbrother, Alexander. He died in my arms. Well, it got crazy because it's all a takeover of all these billions of dollars, all the power of the United States of America. So it gets crazy with all these Secret Service double agents and every other thing. But there was 3 little girls came to me on that island, and the Secret Service told them to tell me. So one girl comes up and says, "I'm your sister Caroline." Another one says, "No, I'm your sister Caroline." And another one said, "I'm your sister Caroline." I was on a plane and my mother was being raped, and I got off the plane and they told me, "Go find your new sister Caroline." So it's a great big mind fuck, people. Straight up. But anyway, I think my sister Caroline was taken from me. Now, did they take the real one? The rich people, just like, and people say Patrick and Arabella and all this other stuff. If you know the Kennedy story, Well, I personally know they take these children and they switch them out through the mafia families at a young age. That's what they do to confuse the bloodline. So there's no mob wars. What is a mob war? You're going after the bloodlines of these other families. You're going after the bloodlines of the families that are in power at the top. Well, it makes it confusing for them. Well, now DNA's out, so they can do their DNA test because it's all about unaliving people, stealing their money at the top. But DNA. So what did they do? They took over the DNA and the labs. These are billionaires, people. They could buy the city you live in if they wanted to. It's not that hard for them to buy a DNA lab. It's not. It's very simple for the government and cabal and organized crime that's running things to do that. So then it made it a little harder for them to unalive people. But what am I getting at for a healing center? Okay, there's so many victims of MK Ultra. You can make a person get fat. You can make a person get skinny. In the end, they die from MK Ultra. You can program someone to do something their whole life. Was I programmed to smoke? Maybe so. I can't quit. I don't want to quit. I really don't. But it's a program, to me, it's a nicotine. But anyway. So back to my story about Caroline Kennedy. I believe my sister, Martha Moxley, was switched and killed. That's what's in my book. That's what I've always believed. In 1975, I believe I had no relatives left. They had all died in this war, this mafia war. Well, I started sharing my story, and this gal comes out and said, I think I'm Caroline Kennedy. That was one. I said, I'll be happy to send you a DNA test. But here's what they don't understand. It's MK Ultra. They still could have been part of the cabal back in the 70s and just been confused. Maybe you weren't my sister, Caroline. Maybe you were a princess from another country. Maybe you were a president of South America's daughter. You don't know, because our government is at the top level. They get these children. They traffic these children. They brainwash these children by the many. Yes, by the many. So this one Caroline, I was happy to give her my DNA, have her tested if she wanted to, whatever she wanted to do. I believe she was there on that island. She thought she was. But she had mentioned in a book she wrote that Jackie was mean to her. That was probably done under MK Ultra. My real mother, Jackie, was not an evil lady at all. Wouldn't hurt a child. But the fake, the replacement, the cabal member, Jackie, because remember, they take your identity, would have been very mean to that child. So sometimes, if you read something, it might be a little confusing, but that's MK Ultra. That's the tool of spin that our government uses. So then there was a couple other people that said they were Caroline also. They did. I'm your sister. I'm your sister. I had somebody, a wonderful lady, show up at my door, and she was, I do believe I could be your sister Caroline, but I'm really not sure. Maybe Arabella. Like I said, I do know the family members I put out through the family, and they're put into this regime, this cult. The minute I saw her, she looked just like me. Her hugs are wonderful. I said, you know what? I don't care about DNA. You can test my DNA. I'll give it to you. But you can be my sister if you want to be my sister. My whole family was lost. And if you want to be my loving sister, that's wonderful. So there's another Caroline on Facebook. And she's struggling with some problems that she has. So I think that's 5 or 6 Carolines that have confronted me saying they could be my sister Caroline. Seriously, straight up. The John, like I said, going back to my church, the John F. Kennedy Junior Healing Center would be awesome for all these people to come. every single one of them, and we could talk it out and basically try to heal ourselves from all the craziness that has happened in so many lives. It would be wonderful. So I'm manifesting for a healing center so I could get up, do a little preaching, so my friends all around the world can show up, do a little preaching. We'll put it on King Smarty TV live. If people don't want to be seen, that's fine too. I don't blame them for not wanting to be under the camera. But that's what I'm manifesting for. I'm just reading some of the comments. Much love to all you. Much love to all you. But yeah, that's what I'm manifesting for. I've been working my ass off on this old trailer house to make it nice. And it's getting down to the finished work. And I'm going to be busy all day again today. But yeah, it'll be nice for me and Robin. I still don't know. I had mentioned in a video the other day, I would trade it all for a church, as long as it had a kitchen and a little room to sleep in and a great big place to put chairs and a place where people could come speak, and so we could get the truth out. So there, a little office, do videos for volunteers to share the story, to get the story out. This is the biggest story of the century. I am freaking John F. Kennedy Jr. Straight up. What they did to me, how they replaced me, the replacements, my sister, the John, the whole world knew. The cabal people, the thieves, they stole my identity. They stole my sister's identity. They stole my mother's identity. And what is it that I don't know about? They stole billions of dollars stealing identity. How far does it go? Does it go to Donald Trump? Does it go to Biden? Everybody's seen all the doubles, all the masks, everything. But my story is huge. Mary Maxwell says I'm the Rosetta Stone. I explain it all. So I don't have his picture here, but this is the historian tale, the amazing return of President Kennedy's son. Truth. Stolen identity, unveiling the real John Kennedy by John Kennedy. Me. Truth. My story is so big. Mary Maxwell that wrote that book said, I don't even know how big it is, because the rabbit hole explodes when you start investigating me and what was done to me, all the way to the presidents of the United States of America, especially with what they had me do. It is freaking huge, but they don't want it out because they are all run to brainwash us, to control us. It's called a regime, people. Our media, our government, the United States, and listen, let it sink in real hard, people. Let it freaking sink in. The United States of America has been taken over by criminals, by the cabal, all the way to the presidents of the United States. It's all a movie. It's all Hollywood. Hollywood's big time in it. Huge. But the United States has been overthrown by the cabal. They don't want to just come out because we'll take our country back. We'll go to the extremes. So they got to play it. They're playing you. They're playing me. They're playing America. They're playing people around the world so they can keep their billions of dollars, keep getting rich, keep, sailing in their yachts, flying on their airplanes and their helicopters while they're freaking drinking champagne and eating caviar, people. They like that lifestyle, but they're evil. And what they do, they can cover it up because the United States of America has been overthrown. So they can cover up all their crimes. They're covering up me right now. I'm a great example of their cover-ups. They're covering me up right now. So anyway, think about it, people. Bullhead City, Arizona. The John F. Kennedy Jr. Healing Center. And the motto is going to be all love. All love to everybody. That's it. All love to everybody. You all have a wonderful, blessed Sunday. Please keep sharing. Lions, thank you so much for sharing this story. I got a good day's worth of work working around here. It's crazy. But all love, people, with all my heart and soul. My story is getting out. The truth is getting out because of you, and not because of them. Think about it. Think about what they do. They hinder us. They harass us. They block us from sharing that I'm the John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. that was in the White House and my father was assassinated, on and on and on and on. My website, therealjohnfkennedyjr.com. Once again, all spelled out, therealjohnfkennedyjr.com. Check it out. It's a wonderful website. It was another great donation, and you can learn a lot, wake up a lot for the truth if that's what you want to do, because the truth will set us all free. God bless you all. Thank you so much on Facebook. All love. I'm doing a twofer here on Facebook and YouTube. So if you didn't catch it out on either, go to YouTube and see the live again. Have a wonderful, blessed Sunday. I know I'm going to try. Peace out, people. Much love always. Much love.